Hello, Reds from around the world. Welcome to All for United. I am your host, Joseph O'Neill of the O'Neills, and I am absolutely delighted and kind of depressed, mostly depressed, in welcoming you all here this evening for a game which we should be, coming back from a handy 3-0 victory. Bruno scoring an absolutely world-class goal is standard, and it should be nothing really to talk about other than a standard 3 points. Instead, we have to talk about our defense is all over the place. Our attack is all over the place. Our midfield is full of handsome men. And David De Gea showed why he still has a bit of class on him. So there's a bit to unpack. We're going to be touching on, obviously, the West Brom game today, but also unpacking what our best front three is. So thanks so much. Jacob has been in the comments. I don't know if he's still here, but he's been in the comments since 5 to 7 all the way through till 7:30. He just couldn't wait. I guess he just couldn't wait. But I don't know if he's here now watching. But thank you so much, Jacob. So wherever you're watching, please come over to YouTube to check us out. Put a like on this video. Help us get to 25 likes at least. And then I will be asking the question. And once we get to 25 likes, I'll be asking the question. The first 5 people to answer that question correctly will be put into a draw to win some Football Town apparel. I think that's the phrase. I can't never remember. But you'll be in a chance to win some great stuff. Yay! Because it's been a miserable day. Yay! So let's make that a bit better by, getting some cool gear out of it. I was going to go to... Oh, no, I am. I thought Mark was just walking out there. But we'll go... But before, actually, guys, before I go, I just want to say that... I'll go on to just me for 1 second. I've just seen... And this is the third game in a row where this has happened, that Manchester United fans have been associated with racist tweets towards our own players. Just wanted to say this is absolutely disgusting and abhorrent and nothing that the club stands for and that anyone here and any Manchester United fans stand for. It's absolutely disgusting and disgraceful, and it should be coming to an end, and it shouldn't exist in the first place. The last club that should be associated with is us. So I just wanted to say from the outset, if any of you think these thoughts or if any of you are the people that are doing it, please entirely fuck off. We don't want you near our club, and we don't want you, especially in this chat. So fuck you, you absolute cunts. Anyway, back to slightly more upbeat topics. We're going to go to, upbeat to a miserable 1-1 draw in the Hawthorns. We're going to go to the wonderful Mark first. By the way, big shout out to the wonderful Mark, who was hosting for the first time today. On his own, and he did an absolutely incredible job. So please, whoever was watching, give love in the comments, and even if you weren't watching, give Mark all the love in the comments, because he did an absolutely stellar and wonderful job.
Thank you very much, mate. It's lovely. It was I was a little bit nervous to begin with, but it was all right in the end. But no, thank you. I appreciate that. Just to say to Jacob as well, thank you for being here for 2 hours, mate. I mean, if that's not dedication, I have absolutely no idea what is. No, it was really disappointing today. We just looked very lethargic again, and I'm not quite sure what's right, really. I mean, the defence was pretty poor. They seem to be getting bullied, which shouldn't be happening to two, central defenders. Sorry. The midfield is probably our strongest unit at the moment, and I think as we went into the second half, and McTominay sort of went forward a bit more, we seemed to be a lot more attacking, which was better to see. But we should have done that earlier, and I think we're coming into this habit where I say this every week, starting quickly, but if we put someone on the back foot and get a goal early, that really puts them on the back foot. And we seem to, we're either spend 20, 30 minutes, coming into the game, or we're just not sort of capitalising straight away, and then we leave it too late. And it was very much like that today. And I think, in all fairness, whilst we should be beating teams like West Brom, this would have been a perfect game for them. Our defensive line has been very suspect. We've been very suspect on set pieces, and they caught us out very early. And I mean, it was just so disappointing to see. I mean, what a take on Bruno's goal, though. I mean, lots of people talk about that Wayne Rooney overhead kicker being on the shin, but to get up to that point and even be in that position like Bruno today, he finished it wonderfully. So that was really good to see. Unfortunately, he didn't really do much else in the game, but nobody did. I thought Luke Shaw was probably our best player today. And other than that, we just got to just kind of build up from this and do better in the next game. But it was pretty poor. You're on mute, bro.
I was cast down by my own wand, I guess is the saying. Yeah, that was absolutely shocking today, and I completely agree with you, Mark. And guys, like I said before, wherever you're watching, please come to YouTube. Please give a like on the video. Help us get 25 likes. We'll get the 25 likes. I'll be asking a question. The first 5 people answer the question correctly will be put in a draw for some Football Town apparel. Benjamin, first of all, where were you watching the game today? I love everything that's behind you, and how are you feeling afterwards?
Just watching the game at home, really, mate, and nowhere else I could go watch it at the minute with this lockdown bollocks. But man, I'm just disappointed again. 2 massive points dropped once again. And I said this on a show a couple of weeks back now. I think we've hit, or some players certainly have hit, the wall, whether it's mentally or physically. And it tells you some of the players don't look 100% sharp to me. I don't know. It was bitty, and again, the first half, very bitty, very slow, very pedestrian-like. Second half, we upped the tempo a little bit. But why does it always take us to the second half to start playing our football? I don't get that. Or certainly when we go a goal down, why did it take us either going a goal down or a couple of goals down, or takes us till the second half for us to start playing our football a little bit better? I don't know whether that's once again under the mental thing on our part. I just don't know, mate. I'm just really disappointed in it. To be fair, we should have had these on an absolute plate, mate. We should have had these for dinner, and we just struggled at times. It's like even the passing in the first half wasn't fluid. It was just very backwards, sideways, a bit bitty, We didn't get Cavani in the game at all for me today. We didn't get him in there at all. I didn't have been eager for a goal on his birthday. I just didn't think we tried looking for him enough.
Yeah.
He makes some great movements off the ball, but it's like we weren't looking for him today. It was like, and the biggest problem I think is Rashford out on that right. He doesn't look comfortable, mate. And I think I said that in the last show as well. He does not look comfortable out on that right hand side. Play him on the left, put Greenwood on the right, and I think that stands you in better stead. I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to play Martial through his bad patch. The guy doesn't look interested to me, mate. Today, again, his body language was all wrong. He looked fed up. He looked, like he didn't want to be on that pitch a little bit. So maybe if we just give him a couple of games out, 2 or 3 games out, and just say, look, you have a complete rest. Just reset yourself, reassess where you want to be in that, and then hopefully come back hungry and fighting when it wants called upon again. But I just think we need a little bit more from United in a minute, and we're just not. But I think again, it's that wall. We're hitting that wall, whether it's individually or as a team, collective. We just don't look at the races at the minute.
And the thing what you're saying about giving Martial a rest, I think we've been saying that since the start of the season, and it doesn't seem to be working at all. But Jeff, we'll go to you now. What time is it where you are, by the way? And he's muted. He's fallen for the mute.
All right, there you go.
What time
it's
is it?
5 a.m.
Motherfucker.
Oh, that's dedication as well.
That is serious dedication. Like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, I'm getting used to it because yesterday was the only one of the games that I can watch decently. It was like 10 p.m. and then I was on the show. Okay, I gotta sleep the whole day. So yeah, that's what I did. But anyway, we're all extremely disappointed, and as I mentioned before, these are the teams that I'm worrying about. Mid-table relegation teams. We're just mentally not there. I'm not worried about Chelsea, Liverpool, City, even Leicester. We're gonna get the results from there because they just want to play against them. But with these smaller teams, we've always had that problem, and it showed this last few games, right? And the first half, geez, like you can see Cavani's getting old, I guess. We just can't start him every game. Marshall Rashford. It's not just Rashford. Marshall needs rest, but also Marcus, I think. So really, right now, it's just Greenwood is in a bit of form in the past few games. So I'm not sure who we can start up front. And we really missed Pogba right now. Bruno can't do it all the time, every time. He saved us once again. He saved Oli, perhaps. Um, but it was encouraging to see Harry going up the field, trying to make something with Luke. But if it was Marcus right there down the left hand side with him, this would have been better the first half. But uh, can't really put into words how disappointed I am. Valentine's was great. The end of it was not. The rest of the week, let's see. So yeah.
We're just going to touch back. Valentine's was great, maybe for you, but not for me. I was in work, and women don't exist in lockdown. But thank you for pointing it out, Jeff. Mark, you have a quick point to make before we keep going on to Stuart?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have struggled against Leicester teams this year. I think it's been very different. Since Palace at the beginning, we were very proud on the fact that we were getting the teams against the Leicester teams, getting the points against the Leicester teams. So I feel that we are just playing awfully at the moment. I can't really put my finger on why, but I don't think it's just because we can't break down the lower block teams. I think that we've been very good at that this season, and that's where we got most of our points from. And Cavani can't really be blamed. I think, a striker can only deal with the pass that they receive. And as Ben quite rightly said earlier, he wasn't really being fed anything. So he's still our best centre forward. And if he can play every week, then you play him every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuart, on to you, lifelong Manchester United fan. You've definitely seen better days than today. But what are your thoughts?
Well, where'd you start, really? I mean, as soon as the coach came off the M5 and made the short trip down to the Hawthorns, turned right and through the gates, the players and everyone must have known they were going into Jurassic Park, because that is exactly what Sam Allardyce is. He's an absolute dinosaur. Absolute dinosaur. His team talk would have been probably 10 minutes of his feet up having a coffee or a whiskey, and 2 minutes of saying, lump it into the box. De Gea won't come for a cross. Bully your centre, your centre halves, and do everything and score a goal. And that's exactly what they did. Every time Fred had the ball, he was passing it left, he was passing it right. He very rarely ventured forward. I thought McTominay was back to his normal, very languid, didn't really offer us anything. I know we had that shot that was cleared off the line. But the thing about it is, Allardyce plays 80s football. He always has done and he always will do. We can't get out of that mentality. And Ollie and his coaching staff should have realised what they were going into. They're never going to strangle you. They're never going to suffocate you. What they're going to do is kick you. I mean, Gallagher put one on Fred. Sorry, Fred put one on Gallagher in the first half. Gallagher gets straight back up and said, all right, son, have it back. And then Fred rolls around for 2 minutes. You can't do that in this league. You've got to show some balls. I saw somebody on Twitter a few weeks ago call it, I think he coined a phrase, testicular fortitude. We just completely fucking lack any of that. We completely lack it. And I know we're going to touch on the front three later. So I think, to be honest, Ollie's got it wrong today. He's not looked at it. He's not set us up. When you go away to a place like the Hawthorns, you've got a way of playing. I get that. And I think what's he set us up on? A 4-2-3-1, doesn't he? You've got to play the first 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes in a 4-4-2. You've got to double up on our fullbacks, because that's what they're going to do. They're just going to cross the football. And then as the game evolves, you then get into your favoured formation and which way you want to play. But Ollie doesn't do that. And he sets us up, and we've got one way of playing. As I say, Allardyce knew exactly we were going to play with Martial and Rashford. I'm pretty sure of it. And Cavani up top. And they set themselves up to just completely disrupt us. So He's got some thinking to do as Ollie, I'm afraid, today. I don't criticise the manager. I don't think I've ever criticised the manager on this channel because I'm loath to do it, but I think I'm within my rights to do it today.
Yeah, and look, you're always within your right to criticize. It's just when it's, and this isn't just you, just across the board to everyone. It's when it just is just for the sake of it, just because you don't particularly want him in charge. That's when it's kind of like feck off. But that's not you. That's not anyone here, luckily enough. And James has come in with Mark for. Oh, you fuck off, James. I should have read that first. I was like, this looks political. This looks like it could be nice. And it's like, no, Mark Verhoeven 2021. I'm coming for you four-eyed bastard.
I'll have to give him that tenner later, I think.
Yeah, I think you owe him a bit more than that.
I was going to say it's a bit more than a tenner, isn't it, that one?
Yeah. Andrew, our brick wall over here. What are your thoughts on today?
So a disappointing result today. I mean, before the game, we were the favourites going into the game. I mean, West Brom have conceded 54 goals so far this season, and 24 of those goals were in the last 4 home games. But Ollie did warn before that in his pre-match interview, we shouldn't allow the ball to get into the box. And we just, in the first 2 minutes, we just shot ourselves in the foot and just conceded that goal. I mean, Lindelof needed to be a bit strong and get ahead of the ball, but to be fair, in his defence, he did have the West Brom player hands all over his face, but Lindelof and his aerial ability has lacked at times in like other games. And I mean, it's just, and then after that, United just going through the rest of the first half, they just looked lethargic and lacking inspiration. And I mean, when we did attack the West Brom back line, it would often end in with a misplaced pass or a heavy touch. It was only through Bruno's brilliance through that sublime goal that we got back into it. I mean, it just adds further to prove why Bruno's becoming the most important player at United. I mean, the front three did say they all struggled today, especially Martial. He was so quiet. I hardly ever saw him in the game. It was only when Greenwood came on, you just saw the difference. Greenwood was running at players. He was trying to get the ball into the box. But we just lacked all over the pitch today, not just defence, but the attack as well. And going on this result, I'm just thinking, being title contenders, I think that hope is now starting to evaporate.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And guys, like I said before, wherever you're watching, please come over to YouTube/OffUnited. Join us on this live video and like the video, and then we will, once I get to 25 likes, I'll be asking the question. The first 5 people answer correctly will be put into a draw of Football Town apparel. What is this little bollock saying now? I'm coming for that hosting role, Joe. Just wait, I'll figure out how to sound less more. But yeah, I don't know how that'll happen for you. Unless you have like electric shocks on your balls every 5 seconds. I think you're always going to sound like you're slightly dead, James. We're getting through everyone now. We're going to go to Vin now. Haven't seen you in a little while. I'm going to... Nope. There we go. Vin, what time is it where you are?
It's about 1:20 here in the afternoon. The game was at 6 in the morning. So,
no, you're still not getting credit. You're still not getting credit. It's 5 a.m. Yeah. But to give us your thoughts on today.
Yeah, it was a frustrating game, to be honest with you. The first 15 minutes, we just weren't there. It seemed like West Brom turned into Man City or Prime Barcelona, the way they were playing. And going to the game, we knew how they were going to set up. We knew they were going to play a load block, essentially going to play 2 lines of 4 behind the ball and even have all 10 men behind the ball. And the first 10 minutes was always going to be risky, as Ollie said in his post-match reaction, that they knew that West Brom were going to put in those long throw-ins, going to put in those crosses, and we had to clear our lines, and we just couldn't do that. And that led to the first goal. Obviously, there is a debate on that, whether was it a foul of Lindelof or not. But again, and that's where VAR comes in. The consistency of VAR is, again, something which needs to be talked about time and again. But then that's no excuse to sort of concede the goal the way we did. And then after that, we tried more going forward. But again, it just seemed like Bruno was the only creative outlet. And you had Rashford not doing enough. Martial wasn't doing enough. Cavani wasn't getting any service in because Shaw put in a couple of crosses, but none really reached Cavani. And same case for Rashford on the right as well. And so Bruno, again, that was a fantastic goal from Bruno, the way he reached for the ball, and a good cross by Shaw as well. Second half, we went in much better, but then we tried to attack a lot more. And again, Harry Maguire had a couple of chances. It looked like a penalty, but then obviously it was offside. Again, I don't know why VAR didn't check for the offside. They checked for the foul on Maguire instead. And then that last chance, that Maguire header, saved by John Stone, a very good save there. So yeah, all in all, very frustrating. 2 points dropped clearly, and I think it's a bit of a mentality issue with the likes of dropping points against Sheffield, now West Brom. I just feel that whenever we head into a game as the favorites, and this coincides with us being at the top of the table, we seem to have stuttered. I think mentally, we just haven't taken the game. We haven't grasped it, and yeah, I don't know. It's a bunch of factors, and there's a lot more to be considered.
Yeah, absolutely. And like guys, I was saying before, wherever you're watching this, please come over to YouTube, All for United. Please give this video a like, and once you do that, you could be put into a draw for some Football Town apparel once we get the 25 likes. Now, I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome back Natalie. It feels like forever since we've seen her. And it's absolutely wonderful. I wish it could be on slightly better occasions, but tell us what your thoughts were on today. And what time is it where you are?
Normal time. I don't know what normal time is, but 9:30.
9:30.
Yeah. No, for me, just listening to the guys, I totally agree with everything that they're saying. I think it's a mental thing. I think when we have I don't know whether it's because we've been sitting top and now we're not top, and it's that pressure to score again. But I think everyone was poor today. There was no one that I thought really stood out. I remember people saying, "Oh, Harry was better than Shaw," but then there was times Harry was saying, "Pass the ball to me, make sure I can cross." And I'm thinking to myself, it was when Bruno had that free kick, and I'm thinking, why have you just done that? Why have you took it away from Bruno? He's the guy. He's 25 yards out. Let him have a shot. Like, why are you so desperate to sort of take it all for yourself? I don't know. I don't know if he sort of wants that captain. I'm going to take everyone out of this sort of situation. For me, it was frustrating, annoying, and I agree with Stu what he said about Ollie. I'm not an Ollie outer, but I think when today you've got to say it wasn't good enough, the tactics weren't good enough, none of the players seemed up from it. It was a three chances. I mean, they said we created loads of chances. I can remember getting cleared off the line twice, and then Maguire's header. So for me, when you're playing a team at the bottom of the league, that's not good enough. So, he has to take some criticism. I'm sure he will take it. I'm sure he'll look at it. I'm sure he'll change it. I'm sure we'll learn from it. But, we've gone from being in the title race to a top 4 race. Maybe we're never in the title race, but we always wanted to finish top 4. I think we've had managers we thought we're going to finish in the top 4, and then we've been fighting for top 6. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Ollie's good, doing well, but he needs to do a lot better.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going to focus in on me now, and I have the full control. For myself, this is an incredibly frustrating result, but it's still a case of we are progressing. I was in a lot of people were very reactionary on Twitter and Facebook and stuff today, and my thing was like, are we better than we were 12 months ago? This will be the first time, if we continue to go where we're going, this will be the first time post Ferguson that we've gotten the Champions League 2 years in a row. If we get in the top 4 again, match that with a trophy at the start of the season, I would have ripped your hand off. So it had to keep going. It's super result like this, which is fucking us up. We should be first place. I think was always out of sight because City, they have Pep Guardiola. He knows that team inside out. And with Liverpool falling apart, it's no one else could really do anything bar him, I feel anyway. But we should be comfortably in second, nipping at their heels, and then if we lose it by a couple of points at the end, fine, it's still progression. But we should not be, considering where we were even a couple of weeks ago, we shouldn't be struggling to get top 4. It should be City, us, and then whoever else. So that's the one thing that's frustrating me. But I'm still confident we'll get top 4. I'm still confident we'll get a trophy. But but it is progression all the way. But we have to be able to criticize Ollie where he deserves it. He does deserve it for today. But if you're saying Ollie out, then would you mind fucking out of the club too? So we're going to keep going around. Yeah, that's the right one. We're going to keep going around. And like I said, guys, come over to YouTube. Give this video a like. Once we get to 25 likes, I'll be asking a question. First 5 people to get that question correct will be put into a draw for some Football Town apparel. Yes. So we're discussing last week on this show on Wall of Reds, or was it during the week? I think it was last week. Mark, was it last week or during the week that we did the goalkeeper, defense, midfield, and attack?
Wasn't that on during the week?
I think it was during the week. It feels like the most recent time. Yeah, where we discussed, we found out our best defender was Luke Shaw, the best goalkeeper was actually Henderson, best midfielder was outside of Pogba and Bruno was McTominay, and the best striker was Cavani. But now we're discussing our front three, because that's the way, no matter what way we want to go with it. Now Stuart is kind of want to go more 4-4-2 maybe. James, you were looking for a dead arm the first time I meet you little bollocks. We are gonna. I know some people are looking for a front two, different positions, like Stuart was saying in previous shows. But we're going to be going with Ollie does like his front three. We're going to stick with that. But what is the best front three? I'm giving our reasons why. And wherever you are in the comments, please give us who you think should be starting up front. I've had lots of arguments with people saying Martial should be nowhere near the start lineup at all, not even on the bench. I'm like, that's bullshit. I know he's had an awful season, but like he's still a senior player. We need him on the bench. So like the argument, if we're being realistic, it is between Greenwood, Cavani, Rashford, Martial, and there's going to be probably someone who'll throw in Amad Diallo, but like it really is realistically those 4 people. But if you want to be out there and throwing a wild argument, who will be most likely to do that? I'm going to go Natalie is going to be wild and do something like that. But we'll get to her at the end. We'll find out. But up until that point, whatever you guys put up a good argument, and we're going to go to Mark first and get your thoughts in.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right when you talk about Martial not even being on the bench is absolutely ridiculous. But I wouldn't have him in the first 11 until he can prove otherwise. Really, at the moment, I feel like he needs a bit of a rest, and his body language. You're absolutely right. It's just not quite right, is it? Cavani is our best number 9. We said this, made that very clear during the week. And he needs to start every game, as I mentioned earlier. If he is fit and available, he's there, number 9, no questions asked. I think Rashford's best position is certainly on the left. And he didn't have a very good time of it today, even when Greenwood came on, which Abdul made a point about earlier. But his best position is on that left-hand side. And I think really Greenwood is the best person, even though he's not a right winger, he's the best person to play on that right-hand side. And that's because he can cut inside and he's also very good with his left. Rashford on the right-hand side can't cut in, can't use his left foot. So he ends up crossing in from the right-hand side, which is fine too. But there's always one way, you know, if he's playing on the left, he has to cut in. So everyone's expecting that. If he plays on the right, he can only really cross it and can't really cut in. So everyone's expecting that. But with Mason, he can do a bit of both. And when he's in form like he is at the moment, he's not a right winger. We know that. He should be centre forward. But he's the best person we've got on that right-hand side. And I think this kind of really emphasises the need for, whether it's going to be Jayden or whoever, to fill that role, and even just to come in and, you know, he can play on the left-hand side too. And we just need, I don't know what it is that we need, but those 3 are the 3. And if Martial was having a bit of a better time, then you'd probably try and squeeze him in, but I don't think you can at the moment. And that's not me being critical to Martial. It's just the way that it is, and he needs to step up.
Yes, we've actually we've ended up having 3 debates in the last 3 Wall of Reds about Martial and Rashford, and the only person out of all the time we did it, with a lot of like changes around the guests, was Temi, who was specifically brought on to defend Martial, and he was literally the only one. I think we had one person in the comments as well. If anyone wants to show love for Martial or give reasons why he should be starting, please get in the comments right now and share them. I think it might be a while, unless I might text Hemi and see can I get him into the comments. Ben, we're going to go to you now. What's your ideal front three going forward?
For me, it's got to be Cavani is your number 9. There's no doubt about that. For me, he's the best out-and-out forward that we've got, really, the best centre forward that we've got, the best predator in the box that we've got, you know. Rashford definitely on the left. I don't like him on the right. He looks uncomfortable to me. Don't get me wrong, Rashford does do the odd moments of brilliance on the right. There is the odd moment where you think, oh, yeah, score on Rashford, lad, you know. But when it comes to shooting in the box from the right-hand side, he second-guesses himself all the time. He questions himself. He likes to cut back inside once too many times. I think on the left-hand side, he's far more comfortable on his right foot there, you know, where he can jig past a couple and maybe get a shot away or across in the box. Greenwood definitely got to be on the left, mate. And I think Ollie's got to take a little bit of credit for his management of Greenwood, I think, you know, using him sparingly at times this season. You know, the young lad, keep his head on, keep his shoulders level to the ground, you know, keep him down to earth, you know. But I think he's definitely the best on the right there. You know, he's two-footed, as has been said before. He looks comfortable. I don't think he's the long-term answer on the right, though. I do agree we need to bring somebody in, whether that be Sancho or Jack Grealish or whoever it may be, because we could know that Grealish could play on either flank as well as on the as well as down through the centre, which he prefers. But and I'm a big fan of Grealish, but you know we shall see what happens in the summer. Matt's another shout who's going down the right, but I don't think he's got the legs anymore. Matter. I think I prefer him as a number 10, but we've hardly seen him. Is the guy still alive? I don't know. Somebody will be able to tell me. We've not seen him for a few weeks, have we? Also, Dan James. I don't think he's ready. Dan James. I think he's one of them lads that could maybe do with a bit of a loan move. I think, you know, get him playing football week in, week out, get his confidence back, and then bring him back in maybe. I just can't see it past Rashford on the left, Greenwood on the right, Cavani in the centre. But that's our golden ticket, mate.
That's fair. Quickly, Jamie, this is for you. Thank you. No rice tonight. James thinks that we'll also get Lingard in. Sure. Okay. Jeff, we're going to go to you now. What's our front three?
Well, the number 9 and the right wing, no doubt. I don't think we're going to have an argument with that. Cavani would most definitely. The problem is, I couldn't imagine saying this within this year that we have a problem on the left in terms of form, in terms of mentality. I guess they're both comfortable that either way they're gonna start. Like Martial's okay. He's not getting any competition whatsoever because he knows Rashford's gonna start. If it's not him, it's just either of them, right? So they don't have that competition for that place, and they're really out of it. And I think we gotta get that hybrid winger. So we've talked about Sancho, but I think we need also someone who can compete on the left side, and maybe that's why we're talking about Grealish and signing him. So yeah, it might end up being a debate about Martial and Rashford once again, but it's just up to me. Out of those 4 that you mentioned, Joe, it's just Cavani, Greenwood, and Rashford, and then Martial every now and then. But if it's completely up to me, I was a manager, I just take it with the front 2 first. Form a diamond. Our fullbacks have been better the past few games. Well, this past season they've been getting better moving forward. So we get that width already. So maybe it's time to experiment with the front 2 first until Marshall and Rashford sort them out themselves, and then you go back to a front three once they're okay. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Okay, Stuart, for yourself now. The Manchester United connoisseur, been there since 1946. I believe that's when you were 21, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Cheeky's fine. Look, there's a couple of things to say about Martial and Rashford. None of them have got left pegs. So Rashford today, for example, he'd try and cut inside, but then he's got to go back on the outside to put it onto his right because he doesn't got a left peg. And it's exactly the same with Martial. Martial, he hasn't got a left peg. I know he scored the odd one or two grass cutter with his left peg last season, but nothing of any note this year. Last year, our front three of Martial, Rashford and Greenwood were scintillating, absolutely scintillating. But what tends to happen with smart managers, smart defenders, is they kind of get on top of them. And that's what's happened this year. They've got on top of us quite quickly. So for me, I should be a little bit controversial. My favoured front three right now, and I would take Martial out of the equation, and I'd take Rashford out of the equation. My front three would be a rotating front three of spearheaded by Cavani and Greenwood and Fernandes behind Cavani. And what you've got there is a rotational front three. Now, if you looked at the game today, Cavani doesn't just sit in the 18-yard box. He'll go to the left, he'll go to the right. You've got Greenwood, who's two-footed. So it means he can go right across the width of the pitch. And Fernandes is just quality wherever he plays. And that is our most dangerous front three. Fernandes has scored, I don't know how many goals he's got this year. Is it 15, 16? I can't quite remember. Greenwood, we know, hasn't scored. He's got the odd one or two. But that's our most dangerous front three because what they offer, a back four unit, is a complete element of surprise. A good centre-half wants to pick somebody up. They hate marking thin air, and that's what that front three would give us. So, I would take Martial and Rashford out.
Okay, I do believe the one rule I said was you weren't allowed to change the formation, but thank you, Stuart, for being the football connoisseur that you were. When I literally said Stuart would be the one that does it, and then you followed type. So thank you so much. And James,
you did say that. Yeah,
I did say that.
And you're right. But I think sometimes when you are talking about that, you've got to look at everything that's at your disposal.
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson was an absolute master at rotation. And this is what I don't get with Ollie, because Ollie was in that rotation. It was either him and Sheringham, wasn't it? York and Cole.
But it's also a case of that he had better players, more quality players, and it was easier rotation.
I think fundamentally, I think he does know what to do. I can't put the blame solely on Ollie today, but he knows. We all know that he's not overly happy with his squad. He's not going to come out like Mourinho and say, "Oh, by the way, not keen on the defence. By the way, we need a right winger." Do you know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but he hasn't. Whilst we've got a much better squad, there are still big holes, and he needs to fill those before he can go, right, let's play with this, let's rotate, let's really utilise that squad.
And also, he's not been afraid to drop anyone if they're not playing. Like, he will give people a chance, and there's not a big thing about it. You don't even really notice that Martial has been dropped because he's getting game time, but just not as much. He's still given a chance to prove himself, but not as much as he used to because he hasn't. And James, you little bollocks again. 2 dislikes, Joe. This isn't something Mark was settled for. Do you know what, James? I gave those dislikes myself for my burner account because I like a challenge. All right. Okay, Andrew, we're going to continue on to you now. What's your front three? What is your idea of front three without changing? You know what? Change it if you want now, because Stuart's thrown the whole thing up in the air.
No, it's definitely a front three. I'm going to go with Rashford on the left, Cavani through the middle, and Greenwood on the right. Martial, just on current form, he just doesn't get into the starting 11. I mean, his form's just not been consistent enough this season. I mean, look, during today's game, he rarely offered anything in terms of going forward. He should have been getting on the ball, taking on the West Brom defence, causing them problems with his pace, but was just so quiet. And also, when he's out on the left, he's not one for getting back and helping out the defence much to stop any crosses from coming into the box. I mean, I was speaking to a fellow United fan at halftime about Martial, and they said the interesting phrase, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Martial's got the talent, but sometimes he just needs to work more harder on his game. But I mean, when Greenwood came on, he showed more potential with the ball. He was just getting down the right, trying to cut in, trying to take the players on, trying to cause them problems, trying to get the ball in. And I mean, Cavani, we look so much better with him in the lead striker role. His movement on and off the ball, he's creating problems for the defence. And I mean, Rashford on the left, that's his better position. He can cut in, whip crosses in, or even take a shot as well. But I say that would be my ideal front three. But I say with Martial, it's just whether he gets back into the starting 11. It's just another question. Just no one knows what position's best for him, whether it's on the left or through the middle anymore.
Yeah, you're dead right. Vin, onto yourself now. Our front three, who are you going with?
No, I got it. I was waiting for you to unmute me, so I was like, okay. Okay, so on the left, I think for me, it's based on current form. I'm going to go with Rashford on the left, Cavani through the middle, Greenwood on the right. But based on overall ability, I'm actually going to put Greenwood as our number 9 based on ability going forward, because Greenwood through the academy has played as a striker, yeah, and so Cavani is going to be forever. He's going to be like for at most another year, and then after that, I don't think we continue with him. And I think Greenwood is all he has in it. At Greenwood as a future number 9. So I think that's what we'll go with eventually. But on the left, I think Martial is not a striker for me. He's got the dribbling skills. He's got the tricks up his sleeve. But I don't think he doesn't have the movement, the work rate that you need, and a number 9 like Cavani, for instance. So I would have him and Rashford compete for that left wing spot. And on the right wing, I'd get someone like Sancho, or maybe even give Diallo a run of games. I think I'm hoping to see him in the Europa League, get a few minutes over there. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays out of it, on the right. And someone mentioned before Lingard, Jesse Lingard. Well, he's at West Ham now. If he does well, and Ole does call him back, he's not a bad shout on the right-hand side.
Oh, wow. Has it really gotten that bad that we're actually calling for Jesse Lingard to come back?
I'm just trying to offer a different point of view, really, because I think it's pretty obvious everyone's going to go with Rashford, Cavani, Greenwood. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to spice it up a bit.
I said my claim was Natalie would be the one to make a mad claim. Why would you ruin it, Finn? I was just there. I
am going to make it.
Let's see.
Here we are.
Listen, I agree with everyone. It is, I think Martial, shouldn't be playing. And I think, like we said, Rashford on the left, Cavani down the middle, Greenwood on the right. But I think Greenwood, there's a lot of pressure on him. He's still really young. And it's a name that Ben brought up, and we haven't seen him for a while. And I think he could do it. He could do it against the West Brom. One matter. Why not give him a bit of time? I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know, what's happened. But I felt when he did play in some of I think he played in FA Cup games, he looked all right, and then never heard from him again.
No.
I just thought we need something different. Like we said about the mentality, it's going off. It looks stale. So just add someone in. Add even Dan James in. Just mix it up. I just think I'm not saying these people are gonna, it's gonna be Dan James and Mata forever, but we haven't got, your Sancho, your Grealish now. You've got to deal with what you got with the cards you got. And I think, I don't care if people think it's mad or whatever, but why not? Someone just said there in the comments, tell us right wing. Why not? Or no, or his left wing, and just mix it up, try something different. And because I think, he is giving Martial still the chance. Then Greenwood comes on, and it's all that pressure on Greenwood. for me, I'd just try something different. Why not? I don't know. Newcastle's the game to try it, I think. Not against City, not against Chelsea. Yeah. Newcastle's the game to try it.
Yeah, I would also say Newcastle, that's the one where we really, really, really need to win. So I actually think we have a better chance of beating the likes of Chelsea and City. Well, maybe not City, because they'll come at us and we can hit them on the break, and that's where we kind of are at our peak. So I think we should still beat Newcastle. I don't see us losing. I think the only game I could see us losing in the next 3 is the City game, but we don't tend to lose at home. So I don't know what way it's going to go. Okay, we'll go around one time with the next 3 games coming up: Newcastle, City, Chelsea. How many do you think we'll get? And then what do you expect? I don't know if those are the exact same questions. Mark, we'll go to you first.
I reckon 7.
7 out of 9?
Yeah.
So a draw against City, is it?
Yeah, I was going to make a joke and say a draw against Newcastle would beat Chelsea and City, but no. I think we'll beat Newcastle. I think we'll beat Chelsea. I don't think they're all that at the moment. They've got a new manager. They're playing a lot of possession, but really, are they that great? Not really. City are obviously the ones to watch. So I think I'm not silly in saying that we should really be aiming for at least 7 points, but we'll see.
Benjamin, on to you, my friend. How many do you hope? How many do you expect?
I agree with Mark. I'm hoping for 7, mate. I'd be disappointed with anything less than 7. City is going to be our toughest one, obviously. You know, they're playing some fantastic football at the minute. You know, they're purring away at the right time. But knowing us, we'll go and absolutely drop a clanger against Newcastle. You know, but I don't expect it. I don't hope for it. I just hope. Beat them, get the 3 points. I reckon we'll beat Chelsea. We have to beat Chelsea. I don't like them. Beat Chelsea. And then, you know, City's going to be the toughest game, but we come away with a point against City. That's the only time I'll ever be happy with a point, by the way, because they're playing unbelievable football. They could blow anybody away at the minute, you know, the way they're playing. But 7 points, mate. Anything else, I'll be absolutely disappointed. I want to go and chuck myself into the River Irwell.
That's fair. Oh, hold on. And guys, wherever you are, come over to Off United on YouTube. Like this video, and after you like the video, once we get the 25 likes, I will be asking a question. The first 5 people to answer that question correctly will be put into a draw for some Football Town apparel. Jeff, we're going to go to you now, my friend. What are you expecting for the next 3 games?
Worst case scenario, maybe 5 points. What best case? I guess we'll get 7. But I mean, we've done better against the lesser teams. But I think the draw's going to come at Newcastle, and then we're going to win against City and Chelsea. I don't disagree that we've been better against these mid-table relegation teams, but that's always been the mentality problem right now. So with this current hump of form, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Chelsea and City game that we get those 3 points out. So yeah,
that sounds about fair. Coming to you, Stuart. What are you expecting?
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty difficult to predict during our last few games. I tend to agree with the lads. I think we will get 7 points. I think City are playing decent, but if you get at them at the back, they're not particularly good. Chelsea, they're just the unknown quantity, really. They play some decent football. They play decent possession football, but they're not really good in front of goal. As for Newcastle, we've come up against them before and lost, haven't we? You know, when really we're in good, decent form, we should be winning. Look, we've only lost 1 in the last 6 or 7 games, so it's not disastrous, is it? We're just not winning the games we should be winning. So I'm going to go with 7. I'm going to go with the consensus. I'd love to say 9, but no, I'll go with 7.
Super duper trooper. Where are you? I'll go to Andrew next. What are you thinking?
I'd say a minimum we should be looking at. Well, it's 7. I mean, just the inconsistency in our form just recently. I mean, like next week against Newcastle, I mean, I think they're just going to employ the same tactic as West Brom. Sit back, try and counter us, nick a goal, and then just defend for their lives. So we've got to be on the front foot next week, just literally smash them out the park. I say, like Stuart said, Chelsea are just the unknown quantity. I mean, they've won the last 3 games, so they're just coming into a bit of form, so they are going to provide a test. And I mean, City are just, starting to look like they want to run away with the league. And I mean, if they win their game in hand, they'll be 10 points ahead of us. We've got to try and claw them back somehow. So minimum 7, but I'm hoping we get 3 wins in the next 3 games.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. Vin, for yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with 7 as well. As much as I want to say 9, I think we'll get 7 of the 3 games. I think Newcastle, that's a winnable game. We should be winning that at home. No excuses for that. Similar to West Brom, they're going to sit back, play 3 at the back, 5-man defense. So we got the win, the reverse fixture. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't get 1 at home. Chelsea and City, the 2 tough games. City, the toughest of all, obviously. So getting a draw against them wouldn't be the worst result. Chelsea is a bit tricky because I can't really gauge how Tuchel is getting their side to play. I mean, against Barnsley in the FA Cup, they managed to eke out a 1-0 win. And so it's tough to predict how they're going to come out. So it'll be interesting to see. But nevertheless, whatever happens, 7 points or nothing.
That's fair. And guys, wherever you're watching this, please come over to YouTube /United. Off United, like this video, and after I think we're 3 or 4 likes away from me asking the question, the first 5 people answer the question correctly will be put into a draw for Football Town Apparel. Natalie, we're going to come to you now. What are you expecting for the next couple of games?
What I'm expecting is 9. That's what I always expect to win. But listen, if we came away with 6 or 7, I'd still be quite satisfied. I think Chelsea and Newcastle 100%. We need to win that. There's no doubt about it. But like you say, I think it's the mentality we're going with the Chelsea. Yeah, they might look a bit off. No one knows what's going on, but they'll be up for it. They're at home. They want to show that they can beat us. So I think we've got to be up for that game. And then City, it's a derby. Anything can happen. Yes, they're on electric form, but they're on electric form, and we were on horrid form. And then Pogba scored the goals and all that, and Smalling. So derby, anything can happen. Let's go for 9, and like you say, 7. I've seen in the comments 7 is the minimum. So yeah, let's do that.
Absolutely, though. Fucking love that fucking optimism. Yes. I have one more question which I've just pulled out of my arse that I'm going to ask, and it sounds like someone's going through some sort of tunnel. I'm going to presume it was Vin. I pulled this out there a few minutes ago just because I want to get a bit more airtime while we're waiting for the last few likes to come in. And like I said, guys, wherever you're watching this, please come over to All for United. Please like this video. We're 3 likes away, I think, from 25. Once we get those in, I'll asking question. The first 5 people answer that question correctly will be put into a draw for Football Town Apparel. So this is the question that has come up on All for United many moons ago on a show that used to be on Monday nights with Rusty, where you can find at Stretford 10. He asked 1 week, and I'm going to put it to this panel right now. Oh, Natalie, 3 likes. We're 3 likes away. If you had a choice, okay, the World Cup is coming up in 2022. It's in Qatar. Fuck Qatar, obviously, but it's in Qatar. If you had a choice between your country lifting the World Cup, okay, or Manchester United winning the Premier League, which one would you choose? And David just said we're on 25. So let's see, can I get a couple of more likes while these guys are answering this question? Mark, I'm going to come to you first, buddy. Is it club over country or country over club? And you're muted.
First time for everything. It's got to be club, isn't it? I mean, unfortunately, it's always a difficult question, but I think that especially over the last sort of 8-12 years, it's been tough to get too carried away with England's performances, especially for me. But saying that, you only see your country play every 4 years, 2 years. So I think at the moment, being a Manchester United fan, I think I would snatch your hand off if you were going to offer me a Premier League for United. So that would be my answer.
Ooh, is that a popular answer? I didn't actually look in the. Reese, only one acceptable answer. You support about 15 clubs, so I don't know which one you're going with. Like, Ben, going to come to you now. Club over country or country over club?
Club over country every single time for me, mate. Especially after all the abuse our players get from England fans, I couldn't give a toss about England. I really could not give a toss about international football. It bores me. I have to admit, I don't like it. I hate it. So I'd love to see us lift as many Premier League titles as we can rather than England win the World Cup. I couldn't give two fucks about England. I'm sorry, but what's more than England? World champions twice.
Fair. Okay. I'll let I support two, follow two. There's the difference. Okay, sure. Jeff, coming to you now. I think myself and Jeff are in the same sort of likelihood of our countries ever winning at World Cup. So this will be interesting to see what his answer is.
Yeah, it's going to be it's not really an easy answer for me because I don't think I'm going to see my country win the World Cup in my lifetime. So it's always going to be club, realistically. But it would be nice to see a country like ours win something, right? But we're more of a basketball nation, so I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, club over country.
Where are you from again?
Philippines.
That is right. Yeah, I can't imagine them playing France at the next World Cup finals. I don't see it happening. I don't think so anyway. Stuart, I think this will be an interesting one for you. I think so. I'm just predicting because what age? Yeah, what age were you in 1990?
I was 30. So actually, you know something, you're right. It is a difficult one for me. You got to bear something in mind. I mean, I'll go club anyway because I can't abide international football in its current state anyway. But we're one of the very few clubs, English clubs, that can boast an England World Cup winner, which is quite good for our club. And I think our current crop of players, we probably would have a chance of getting somewhere, potentially in Qatar. But, you know, on with Ben, international football in a minute just bores me. It just seems a pointless exercise. And so as much as I would love to see England lift the World Cup, and I do have a sense of patriotism, it's club all day long.
Ooh, I'm very happy you said that because I want as little amount of people supporting England here as possible. So I'm loving this so far. Andrew, for yourself, my friend, which way are you leaning?
All day long is club over country. Want to see United win the league. I mean, when there's international breaks during the Premier League season, I just can't wait for them to be over because I just want to see United play their next match. So yeah, United all the way.
Great shout. And Brendan and Jacob and Reese, don't start having a go with each other in the comments or else I'll block you all, okay? This is only having a laugh. If you want to say he's not British or anything like that, leave him to it. Don't make a big deal out of it, okay? We're only having fun here. Vin, coming to you now. Where are you from again, Vin, exactly?
So, I mean, I basically live in the US, but my home country is technically India. So
okay, so you can technically pick two countries to choose from, or
two countries, but then if you look at it, both countries don't really perform well. One of them doesn't even feature in the World Cup, and the other doesn't get past the group stage. So essentially, I've just got the club to support, and plus, I'm more attached to Man United. Really, I mean, even during international breaks, I look forward more for it to get over to watch United rather than waiting for the international friendlies to begin. So for me, it's club over country.
That's absolutely fair. Natalie, for yourself?
This badge means more than any other badge ever, yeah? So it's easy. You know, born Manchester, raised British, whatever. I don't care. I care about Man United. That's it. That's why I watch football. That's what's made me start supporting it. So I'm all day. We could be on 30 league titles, you know, and I'd still want that 31st. It doesn't matter. It's all about Man United for me, and I'm strong with that. With Ben. Ben knows me, so we don't. It's not like I don't like England. I just have no feeling towards them. It's nothing. Like you say, the abuse that they got, Beckham, Ronaldo got abused, Rooney got abused. I just think, even now I'm surprised they're not giving Rashford it, so, but they probably can't give him it because he's feeding the kids and all that stuff. So, but for me, it's always Man United. It'll always be Man United.
Absolutely. And Brendan, just on that, I just wanted to be safe because I know nationalism can be very personal to some people and they might get offended if someone is saying something. So I just wanted to make sure that no one was getting bullied in the comments, just to be safe rather than make a big deal out of it. But that's where I was coming from with that. From myself, I'm going to be the unpopular one. I don't think my country would survive it, but if for Ireland to win a World Cup, there would not be like a pint of Guinness left in the entire country. People there'll be bodies on the street. We got to the quarterfinal in 1990, and like the likes of it. I was born that year, so I didn't get to enjoy it. But like the likes of it is still talked about in the media, and like it's still seen as one of the proudest moments. And it's probably like the proudest moment in our sporting history. So if we were to win the fucking thing, like there would be no survivors. So probably it's a good thing that we will never be up for it. I don't think, but I would absolutely. And cheers, Jacob. I would. For me, every day of the week, I would take club over country in that regard. But and speaking of that, the question will be oh fuck no, I don't think I'll take this is for the people who are more Irish. United fans that know about Irish footballers. I don't know. What club did John O'Shea sign for after leaving Manchester United? What club did John O'Shea sign for after leaving Manchester United? Put it in the comments. No one is shouting. Thank you all so much for the people actually in this, in this talk tank, whatever you want to call it, who didn't immediately shout it out. And immediately, yes. So, oh my God, you all typed in at exactly the same time. So Brendan, Mark, not Reese, Stuart, yes, and Eamon, and yeah, other Stuart, you didn't make the cut. Sorry, Stuart. Sorry, other Stuart. No, you did, Stuart.
Yeah, don't put me in. Put somebody else.
No. You're in. Okay, you're in. All right. It's you're Stuart. Just have to, other Stuart has to be quicker next time. That's all. You need to learn from his mistakes. There's no easy passes in this All for United. Okay. But thanks so much for everyone for joining us. It's been quite a miserable-ish afternoon. We saw a wonder goal from Bruno, which always helps, but we didn't get the result we wanted, so it's not ideal. Sunderland is obviously, but Sunderland is appropriate. It could be appropriate, but spelling is key, Reese. Spelling is key. So thanks to all the people that were here tonight. Make sure to follow them all on their social medias and spread the love. It's Sunday today. Temi will be here tomorrow night, 9:30. I think 9:30 or 10, I can't remember, to preview who we play next. Is it whoever that is? Europa League back?
Real Sociedad.
Yeah, Sociedad.
Thursday night, mate.
Sociedad. Shit.
Shit. The women's show on Friday because obviously the game's on.
It's usually Thursday, so it'll be Friday. Yes, I was working my way down. It's preview tomorrow. We'll be back Waller Reds Wednesday, and then Women's Weekly will be Friday. And then I don't know who we're playing at Newcastle the weekend, apparently, and whatever day that is, we'll have the post-match pre-match. Sunday, yeah. So we'll be there for that, and we'll be all back, or some of us will be back. I'll be back, and probably Mark at least anyway, and maybe Andrew and Stuart. They seem to be the regulars that are sticking us through, okay, and hopefully Natalie as well, and the rest of you hopefully too. Sorry, a lot of hopefully going on here. Thanks so much, folks. You're absolute gents, and have a great end to your Sunday, and we'll all see you very, very soon.
See you guys.
Bye.